Walmart just had one of the worst years in its history. The stock is down, customers are furious, and there's a billion-dollar lawsuit they can't shake. The strange part is that they did almost all of it to themselves. For decades, Walmart was untouchable. Not just the biggest retailer, but the biggest company in the world, period. Then somewhere along the way, the obsession with staying on top curdled into something worse, and now they're paying for it. This is how Walmart built an empire and then started tearing it down from the inside. Start at the beginning. Sam Walton opened the first Walmart in Rogers, Arkansas in 1962. Nothing fancy, just a discount store in a small town. But Sam cared about one thing most retailers didn't: charging less than everyone else. The model was simple to the point of being ruthless. Move into a town, undercut every local store, and once the locals close, own the market. Then use all that sales volume to lean on suppliers so hard that no competitor could match your prices. Then do it again in the next town, and the next. People called it the Walmart effect. Hardware stores, pharmacies, grocers, whole main streets hollowed out. Customers kept coming because the prices really were that low, and Walmart kept expanding because the money kept flowing. By 2002, Walmart was the largest company in the world by revenue, $218 billion in sales, and 1.3 million US employees. Suppliers would sit across the table from a Walmart buyer and sweat because a contract could make a company and losing one could sink it. They were the most powerful retailer in history, and they knew it. Here is where the story turns. When you get that powerful, you stop worrying about customers and start managing them. That shift was small at first, and then impossible to miss, and it is what started the unraveling. So what did Walmart actually do? Start with the workers. Wages were kept brutally low. For years, the average associate made so little that plenty of them qualified for food stamps. Leaked internal documents showed Walmart coaching employees on how to apply for government assistance because the company itself wasn't going to pay them enough to live on. Sit with that. The biggest company in the world was getting taxpayers to cover part of its own labor bill. It wasn't only the pay. Scheduling was its own kind of pressure. Hours were unpredictable, shifts changed with no notice, and full-time roles quietly got converted to part-time to dodge paying benefits. Employees had no stability and no leverage. Turnover was enormous, but Walmart didn't mind because there was always someone else who needed the job. And when workers tried to organize, the response was fast. Walmart ran a whole operation it called labor relations. If organizing turned up in a store, a team could fly in from headquarters within days. Departments got restructured, managers got replaced, and if none of that worked, the store got closed. In 2000, Walmart shut down the meat cutting department in a Texas store 2 weeks after the workers there voted to unionize. The company called it a cost-cutting move. Somehow, it was the only store in the country where cutting meat had suddenly stopped being profitable. And that's not even the worst of it, because Walmart wasn't only squeezing workers, it was doing the same thing to its suppliers. And that's where it got dark. If you wanted your product in Walmart, and nearly every consumer goods company did, you played by Walmart's rules. The rule was simple: lower your price every year, or we find someone else. No negotiation, the call would come. Walmart wants the same product next year, 5% cheaper. The year after, another 5%. That money didn't come out of Walmart's margins. It came out of the supplier, which meant out of the supplier's workers, or out of the quality of the product. So companies moved manufacturing overseas just to survive. American factories closed and jobs disappeared, while Walmart ran ads about everyday low prices and never once mentioned what those prices actually cost. One story sums it up. Walmart pushed Vlasic to sell a gallon jar of pickles for $2.97. Shoppers loved it, but Vlasic was barely breaking even on every jar, and the deal was quietly killing the company. When Vlasic tried to renegotiate, Walmart threatened to pull its products off the shelves entirely. Vlasic eventually went bankrupt. Walmart hadn't saved that company. It had used it up and dropped it. What about the customers then? For a while, Walmart really was good for them. Low prices are real, and for families on tight budgets, Walmart made a genuine difference. But at some point, the customer turned into one more number to optimize, and that's when it got ugly. Product quality slipped as suppliers, crushed on margins, cut corners. Things that used to last for years started falling apart in months. The stores got worse too. Walmart became known for understaffing, for long checkout lines and empty shelves, and not because of supply problems. Labor was cut so thin that nobody could keep up with restocking. Customers weren't being served anymore. They were being processed. Even the pricing, the one promise Walmart was built on, got slippery. Investigations found that in-store prices were often higher than the prices on the app or website. You'd see one number on the shelf, get to the register, and pay more. Complain, and you'd be told the shelf price was wrong. Returns got harder on purpose. Several states opened investigations, and the class action suits followed. Walmart's response was to pay the settlements and move on. For a company pulling in hundreds of billions a year, the fines were rounding errors. The damage to trust was a different bill, and that one doesn't get settled with a check. And speaking of goals, we're trying to hit 1 million subscribers by the end of this year. We're close. If you tap subscribe right now, we can actually get there. Now, just when you'd expect Walmart to correct course, it did something that made everything worse. In the 2010s, the company decided to go upmarket. They renovated stores, added organic sections, and chased wealthier, more urban shoppers. They called it the store of the future. Sounds smart. The problem is that Walmart's core customer was working class America, and working class America can tell when a company stops caring about them. Prices crept up. The bulk deals budget families relied on got harder to find. The dollar bin specials quietly went away. Whatever Walmart used to be, cheap and no frills, and for everyone without apology, started to blur. Why go to Walmart if it's not even that cheap anymore? And if you want something nicer, why not just go somewhere actually nice? Loyalty eroded slowly and quietly, and then all at once. Then it hit the numbers. Walmart's stock peaked in 2015 and started sliding. In a single year, the company lost more market value than almost any company in history. Over $70 billion gone in 12 months, and it kept going, eventually bleeding more than $1 trillion in total value. Investors weren't reacting to one bad quarter. They were reacting to a pattern. A company that had spent decades pulling value out of its workers, its suppliers, and its customers was finally getting the bill. Lawsuits piled up over wage theft and gender discrimination and disability violations. By some counts, Walmart faced more legal action than any other private employer in the country. And a whole generation of younger shoppers had grown up watching a Walmart on the edge of town hollow out their parents' hometowns. They wanted nothing to do with the brand. So what's Walmart doing now? Trying to turn it around. Wages have gone up, stores have been renovated, and grocery and pharmacy services have expanded. Some of it is working, and the grocery business is genuinely strong. But trust, once broken at that scale, is slow to rebuild. The towns that watched Walmart move in, kill the local economy, then understaff the store that replaced everything else, they remember. The suppliers squeezed out of business, remember. The employees kept just under full-time to avoid benefits, remember. Walmart is still enormous, still profitable, still serving hundreds of millions of people a week. But for a company that once made unstoppable sound like an understatement, losing $1 trillion in value, fighting lawsuits on every side, and watching its reputation crater is a hard way to fall. That's what happens when you spend 50 years treating people like cells in a spreadsheet. Eventually, they start treating you the same way. Sam Walton built something extraordinary. What came after, chasing every last dollar, no matter the cost, was something else entirely. Now they're stuck with it, and it's hard to feel sorry for them because most of this was self-inflicted. They pushed their luck as far as it would go, and now they're out of it. But Walmart is not the only giant that thought it was invincible and burned the trust of everyone around it. Click the next video on your screen to see how Starbucks is finally getting what it deserves.